Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe you're brave, boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Yes. We're back again with another live stream. I'm 15 minutes late. I didn't want to rush in the preparation to get this up on all of the platforms. It's a little bit of work setting shows up and you want to get things done right, but it's a joyful thing. It's a happy thing. And I see we have 17 people in here already. Yes, Master Glam. She came in first. First place today is Master Glam. Cherry and DLE, much love to you. You're here consistently, and I see that. Thank you so much. Mixed genre faves. Yes, this is the dream team up in here tonight. Seriously. Greetings, Kim. Good to see you here. Kay Levy. Good to see you here. Much love and appreciation. Tracy J. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a Telegram is like kind of distant. I'm gonna make a WhatsApp community group room where I can just drop one link when I know I'm going live, so that even when YouTube doesn't give it out, because that was the purpose of Telegram, but Telegram is like something you have to really reach for. Everybody's on WhatsApp. If you're not on WhatsApp, you know, the technology is kind of scary, but we do use it. If we use it, let's use it for something good. Let's use it for something to keep us up on things. So I'm going to set that up tonight. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'll just add everybody inside. Yes, let me see who else is here. Okay, there'll be more people coming in as time goes by, but let me just jump right into this. You know, today I was speaking with a close friend of mine. You know him, he pops in every now and then, Kevin. And we grew up together from in the 70s. And we know each other's sugar honey iced tea, really and truly. He can tell you a few things about me the world doesn't know. And maybe I might not want the world to know. Nah, I'm always transparent with everything. And that's what keeps my load light on me and my subconscious mind, because I travel transparent. It's always been a goal to me to be shameless, to have no shame. And whatever I've done, good, bad, and ugly, So people who come at me, I'm very comfortable with that. And I think that being porous that way, where you try to pour something onto me, but I have so much, porous openings that it doesn't stick. A lot of us in this day and age, we just are walking around with a lot. Willie C. Holman Jr., welcome in. I'm glad to see you here. Much love and appreciation. Yeah. We're walking around with stuff that if those things, large or small, Sister Oyala, Cadence, much love to you. Now we're really getting full now. The super dream team is here. You see, yes, it's very important, Willie, that we talk about this on a regular, under different titles. It won't be the same content, but I want to get more into human nature. I want to get more into keeping us healthy. I'm not a professional. I've been through a lot emotionally, and I've learned the tricks of the trade to keep me head and shoulders above depression, which I can't say that I've ever been extremely depressed, but I have been in certain points in my life, and it never stayed too long because, like that rock that's skimming over the lake, when you take that little pebble when you're with a friend and you throw it, not to go into the water, but to top or really skid across the top, and usually you'll get 3 in. Want 2, but 3, but if you're real good and you throw it low, you'll get 4 before it drops in. And so I've always kept myself moving, always kept myself reaching, always kept myself with a new goal ahead of me immediately when I achieve the prior goal. It's not easy. We're all going through things. But like I said, if I was to remove, I don't want to use the word stress, but the heaviness of living in this world, if I was to take it off you right now, whatever it may be, large or small, and you felt yourself without it, you'd feel so much lighter. Now, I'm not trying to say, well, you all have heaviness over you. No, I'm not trying to say that. But in this world, we all have something on us, on our spirit, that we wrestle with, large or small, daily. And sometimes when one thing is off of us, here comes another. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 things, 10 things, whatever. But what is it that makes a person want to jump off of a roof? What is it that makes a person want to take a gun and put it to their head? What is it that makes a person hurt other people? There's definitely something on our minds and in our spirit. And sometimes, and oftentimes, and really all the time, perception is reality. And this is something that I've learned over my 60 years of life. That whatever you perceive, that is your reality. And it may not be the real reality, but the way you perceive it, it's your reality. And that could be a very dangerous place to be. It could be a very dangerous place to be. You can tell someone who has a weak heart that there are 10 people outside with machine guns waiting for them to come outside to shoot them dead. And that person hears this with their weak heart and dies. Yet there was no one outside to do that. Now, why would somebody do that? I don't know. That's just an analogy. Somebody that they trusted. Listen, man, please don't come outside. I love you so much. I don't know what's going on, but they said they're going to shoot you. What did you do? Maybe it's a mistaken identity. I don't know, but please don't come outside. They're out your window, your door. You got to come out sometime, but please, maybe I can get the police or something to come and, whatever. And what? Really? Oh my God, they're going to kill me. Oh, I don't know who they are, but they got the SWAT outfits on, but they're not SWAT. They're not police. I don't want to see nothing happen to you. I don't want you to die. Please stay in. I'll do what I can. And they know where your stash is. Did they commit a crime? Yes, they did. Will the police find out? No. They just found you inside dead. You see what I mean? So you got to make sure to have your filters up. You better make sure to be self-cleansing every single day. And make sure that you don't, I'm freestyling. This is not like some scripted whatever. This is how this is the best way I do it. I go into myself and dig out stuff from inside of me that I've gone through. But I say, allow no one to penetrate your happiness. Just like I said, perception is reality. Well, we're not going to say to be delusional, but often you're going to have that place of happiness to escape into. I had so many topics that I could have talked about tonight, buzzing through my head. And again, went to bed. She just got up and surprised me. I said, wait a second, what are you doing up? I said, could you make me a little bit of lemonade? I'm tired. It's too much sugar. I'm like, okay, no problem. I don't put too much. A little brown sugar, right? But you got to surround yourself in a place of your happiness that you create. You cannot wait for someone else to bring you happiness. You can't sit there and say, I got to find somebody to make me happy. And I think that has been the difference in my life. That I had an exostructure, meaning a structure outside, like exoskeleton. But an exo happiness surrounding me, much like a spiritual condom. You get around people and you don't allow their mentality or the moods they want to throw off on you or to engulf you like quicksand to pull you in to their funk. There's a lot of things going on in the daytime when we move about this earth. And oftentimes I say shark infested. It's not always that way. I say that to illustrate what could happen, but I don't walk around thinking everybody's a shark. Oh, but my guard is damn sure put up. You see? But we can't sit there and not indulge in the challenge of life, because we are afraid of the bad things that may happen, which are going to happen. I'm fully aware that unless it's a tragic accident where me and Mrs. Scurv are removed from this level, either she's going to see me transition or I'm going to see her transition. Do I want to think that? No. But something along those lines will happen. What did I say to her the other night? I said, let's deal with where we're going to be buried. Let's deal with how the insurance is going to be divvied out, how this is taken care of and that's taken care of, whatever. Let's face all of that now so that our family members don't have to go through us not being organized, which makes it even worse. So then, hey, we don't want that time to come. But you know what? When that time comes, things will be taken care of. Now let's live life. You allow no one to penetrate your happiness, like I said, on those skimming rocks, because you're moving too fast. Not speeding, not in denial, but you're moving, you're living. These are also the good old days. These are also the good old days, just like the past was the good old days. But I'm so busy keeping something ahead of me to reach for. It was said that there was a barbecue by a mutual friend in Jersey. I didn't get invited because I'm all the way out here. But I'll show up somehow via satellite or via FaceTime. And all the old friends from the neighborhood extended like a network. Maybe somebody that you didn't really hang out with, but you knew them. Hey, man, how you doing? But you didn't hang out with them. Or maybe someone, a friend of that friend who you saw, you waved at them, but you don't know who they are. That's cool. I'd go. I'm not able to right now. I'm tied up with a lot of things here. But it was mentioned that too many people are dying from those days, and it's sad. And yes, it is sad. But the sad thing is, if we don't live these years that we have now, right up into the time it's time to go, old Scurv is going to be boogieing. If I have an ailment, I'll deal with it. I'm going to be boogieing. I'm going to be enjoying life. The happiness comes from within. You have to have that place of peace. For me, I love the technology. I love making these banners. And I promise to start making better banners. I've been making them all look the same. I'm just whapping them together. You know what I mean? But today, we were supposed to go and get our electrical wires. Mrs. Scurv woke up and she said, you know, I'm a little tired. We'll go tomorrow. I was like, yay. Not that I didn't want to go, but I also know that, well, usually she might take off a Wednesday and go back Thursday up to the property. That meant she's going to stay 2 days. That meant for the time that she's home, there'll be better food because the stuff I whip up is not as good as hers. And I get a second chance at rest tonight. And I enjoyed the show last night. And you know what? I listened to the conversation. Master Glenn was like, Lance, don't sleep. I was cracking up. I was heading to bed, but I was cracking up. I say, I know this is going to be a good one. And that's already rendered and it will go up. But it took so much time to process. I was going to have it come on before this one, but I saw that. And YouTube does that. And I'll upload it again. Boom, it'll process quick and the old one is still processing. I don't know what to do with it, but I probably will do that after the show. But whatever comes your way, you have to be able to adapt. And so I can't knock her because she works very hard up there in the sun. Woo! Even down here in the city, the sun was banging. And you know what? I did some work to catch up, bring everything up to par. I went to lay down earlier. What time was it? It was about maybe, I woke up at 7:30 in the morning, which I was up late last night. And it was like, I know I'm not gonna wake up till 12. Once I jumped up, wait a second, there's an electrical thing going on over here. Hold on, I see some sparks outside. I don't know what the hell's going on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, what it is, it's kind of storming, not storming yet, but it's the winds coming down off of the mountains. And I know it all so well, which means that there was something sparking like a transformer outside. And I saw it. I was like, oh, snap. That tells me, let me get the phone together because that might mean a power outage coming. So this is no funny business like last night. Hopefully it won't. I'll stay here until. I'll get back into my trend of thought in a second. I just want to load up this phone so that if and when that happens, it'll just take a minute to flip over. Just let me do that. Just bear with me. Because we're going to free flow tonight and nothing is going to stop it. Just let me log in on my phone. So if that happens and the lights go out, we'll still be where we're supposed to be and the show goes on. And just like last night, for those who weren't here, whenever there's a time where I'm knocked out, understand that just bear with me and I'll come right back in. It might take 15 minutes. It might take a few minutes. You don't know. But last night was a very strange experience because my internet was knocked out. The computers couldn't work. But I used my internet for phone service. And the funny part is that the phones worked. I was like, whoa, what the heck? Okay. Let me enter the studio. I'm in. Okay, what happened now? What happened now? Okay, there it is. I'll let myself in. Okay, so if it happens, we're good. It'll take less time. But those winds drop down off the mountain, just like, you know, when you're on a sliding board and the winds just fall right on down. Okay, I hear myself echoing. Do you hear an echo? I should be muted. This is muted. I think I'm a little too close. I'm hearing it from the phone. Let me turn the sound down and we're good. Okay. Okay, the sound is down. Good. We're set. So if nature chooses to go that way, then we're ready. Hold on one second. Sweetheart, is the rain coming down? Yeah. It was like a transformer sparked up over there. You saw it? It was close. I don't know. Huh? Through the window, yeah. Yeah. I know that woke you back up. Okay, thank you for the sound, Indigo King. No echo, good mixed genre. Thank you so much, Master Glam. So, okay, this I'm hearing my other phone. I gotta put this somewhere. It's throwing me off. Hold on a second. Let me just put it off on the other side of the room, and it's still turned down. I can still hear it. I set this up just in case. Good. All right. Okay, no more interruptions. Here we go. Now, where was I? Yeah, about the barbecue and how we're all in my age group, not all, but the laws of statistics and you know, we have a certain life expectancy, but this is the way I look at it. If I'm living waiting around for death, I'm not really living. I would have rather live a shorter life full of life. So as I move on into my senior years, I have a lot of enthusiasm. I think you can tell. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be the sweetest part. If you set yourself up properly, not just on a financial level. You know, I actually skirted by y'all. I've always worked and stuff like that, but I was a late bloomer that way because I did a lot of work off the books and all that stuff. And don't have to worry about that stuff. I got hip, did the right thing, worked hard. And it's just like that person who is in a race. The race is tight. A track star running around the track. And he's neck and neck with 3 other people. And the difference from him winning the race was him leaning his head in a little more, and the camera sees that his head crossed the line first. That's me. But I never worried about certain things. I'm like that bird who flies free in the sky. I'm concerned, but I don't worry. The bird doesn't have a refrigerator. That stray cat doesn't have a bed to sleep in. They're not worrying. Nature takes care of them. I mean, when you live a natural life where you submit to the forces of nature and the order of nature, it will still take care of you, even when you have a foot in the engineered world, man-made world. See? So every day for me, I'm like that skimming rock over the water, knowing that one day the weight of me being a rock will pull me down into the water. But boy, I'm really enjoying the flight over the water. And I don't feel any different than I did 40 years ago. I know a lot more, but my enthusiasm for life and my ability to laugh and to laugh at myself, I don't take myself too serious. There's a lot of people that are probably pissed off. We can't insult him. I get more mad when you try to insult somebody else. You know what I mean? I get more mad at that. Like, don't make no fun of him. What are you talking about? You're going to have a problem with me if you make fun of them. But me? There's no ego here like that. There's enough to get me by. But you're going to have to try hard to really get, have me mad at you for insulting me. It's not going to happen. I'm realistic with myself. I'm agreeable. I get along with people. I've learned to just tell people off straight up more so. When I see them, just be away from me. I see your energy. What do you mean? No, let's just stay over there. I'm not going to say I've always been Superman and this Superman lover. I've been a 2-minute, 1 minute, 30-second brother. Not too often, but sometimes it happens. I'm cool with that. I laugh at that. That's life. But regardless as to what you go through, you must have your own bit of happiness. My artwork for me, I love drawing. Music for me, it takes me back in a good way. Not necessarily that I'm not living now. It enhances the now by bringing the happiness from the past to the present. I was playing the SOS band, grooving. Grooving, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Grooving. 1977, I was 14 years old. Round about that time. I was playing another song by Aura. Why don't you make up your mind? Stop wasting all my time. And I remember those days. And I have so much of a collection of good memories. I remember the bad stuff, but they fell off. I've always been this way, hyper to make the good times, not only for me, but for everybody else. I love to make people laugh. I love to take them out of their pain. That's the way I am. But I can make you not laugh and put you in pain if you cross me the wrong way. But I'd rather not that. I remember that other song, the last song that I just told you about. I used to walk over my old girlfriend, her house, Charlene. I used to walk all the way from 134th Street to 165th Street. And I had to go from 107th Avenue down to Linden and walk all the way down Linden. Get to 165th Street and turn right and go down a block and a half. I didn't care how late it was. I'd go to the gym and work out. I wasn't driving in those years. In New York, you didn't really have to push to drive like that, especially when you're young. You just got to get to where you get to. And I remember one night I was walking there and I kept hearing people play that song from in their car. Come to find out, they had a late night jam session. I think it was 98.7 KISS FM in New York. And at the time that I walked by, different establishments, cars, they were banging it. And I kept hearing it. And they rocked it again. So for a good long time, so that stuck in my head. So every time I hear that song, it reminds me of that. And they were kind of like, they weren't rich. They were a little below middle class, but everybody was kind of for themselves in that house. So when I went over there and I was training, I had my little red Adidas bag where I put my diet food in there because I was working out. So I always had something to eat and I'd bring some extra stuff for her. And I remember like the younger sister, Lance, you got something in the bag that I could eat? It was the bag. But I'm here now and I'm creating memories now that will live on. So if you control that and you don't wait for somebody to come into your life to give you this, because that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me, brother, because I wasn't looking at the chat room. Let me just put this up for Indigo King 111. Tomorrow we're holding the services at the same time for my grandma and aunt, which I'm glad because they're doing them back to back was going really being rough. I'm going to think of the good times and be at peace. Yes. 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 That's what you have to do, because this is an order of things. Life, transition to the next level. I don't buy into death. I know that the body, what they call, dies. I know that. But when you see your car, those of us who have, and if you don't, just imagine you had a car and you park outside in front of your dwelling and you get out. Do people cry when they see the car sitting there not moving? Because the person who was driving it left. Right? But we all going to shed tears because we miss our loved ones in the flesh. So this is why, for me, I'm going to tell you all I love you so much, and you all have brought me so much great joy to my life on the shows and the private conversations and the emails and text messages. I may live to 100 or beyond. I may live to tomorrow. I don't know. But we have to express these things, because too many things come between us and the good people. I'm not saying everybody's good. Some people, you got to run them away from your life. Because not that we look for things from people on a materialistic level. No, they'll bless us with something. Don't y'all know if I won $1 billion, I know a lot of people, so it may not be where it's like 5 million I give everybody, but I might throw $1 million and enough that when the taxes come out, you still got more than $1 million. Nobody wants to get $1 million. Say, damn, I only got 700 something. You know what I mean? Or 600. Nah, I wouldn't even tell anybody. I'd just be getting the dresses or just ways of getting that money to you, right? Whichever way to spread the joy. But it's not just about money. It's a spiritual thing. It's a sharing of our experiences and uplifting people who, while we're here chatting in the chat room, out of the 39 people that I see who are watching, and I haven't checked Rumble yet, but there might be somebody curled up in the bed, crying, hurt, feeling lonely, not knowing an answer to a situation that we all probably here know, but they don't have the person to tell it to them. They don't have the person to say, listen, tell me all about it. And if you don't, let me hug you. Come here close. It's going to be all right. You don't have to say anything right now. I'm just going to be here. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Because like I said early on, there's so many people who are dealing with issues. I'm not going to say, oh, it's mental illness, mental health, whatever. Because we as Black people especially, we don't want to deal with that because I ain't crazy. I ain't going to no shrink. Forget the stigma of that. The very people who sometimes say that go up on the roof and put the gun to their head and blow their brains out. Now they're really thinking something. And you don't have to tell everybody. But at least reach out to someone in your circle, right? Talk to them. Take care of yourself, your physical health, because that can make a big difference in how you feel. The Greeks knew it. A healthy body is a healthy mind. But the Greeks didn't have to deal with a lot of the things we deal with in the modern world. But that still goes a long way. Taking care of ourselves, staying away from negativity. There's a lot of things we can do long before we get to that point. You see? And this thing that this world pushes on us and has us fearing death, we don't have a choice. All of us are going. And it's not death, it's transition. In the system of nature, things are recycled. I don't mean we're all going to come back here, right? Like, oh yeah, how you doing? Master Glare, remember we used to do the shows 200 years ago? Now we're... Oh man, that's crazy. And extract the goodness out of each day. And don't be so rigid. I thought we were getting up to get the electrical wires. Mr. Scurv said, I'm resting today. And I slept straight like 3 or 4 hours. Where did that come from? I needed that. But we have to have that place of happiness within ourselves. If you're looking for happiness in another person, it's not going to happen. They can enhance it. They can bring a little more to it, but it's got to already be there. But if you wait for them, that's really selfish because we have our own work to do. What is it that you like to do? What are your hobbies? What brings you joy? Because if you have a bunch of people who don't allow anybody to penetrate their happiness, and you come along, and all you can do is just, it's almost like a game. They say something negative, you say something positive. They say something negative, you say something positive, and they get pissed at you for saying something positive because they want you waltzing with them. Wah, 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 wah. No, I'm sorry. You know what? I came through so much, and my stuff has really been emotional. I haven't had too many people pick fights with me. I wonder why. Don't know, but my stuff came emotional. I had it where I came home and saw another man on top of my old girlfriend. Bigger dick than mine. Pumping it. But that was a spite thing to make me go off because I've been wanting to get away from her. And I looked at her and I said, hey, you all are having a great time. I'm going to run to the store. Did you want anything from the store? The way she looked at me, like there's so much hate because I wanted to get out of that wild lifestyle. And I left and put on our favorite song before I did on the CD player. You're not bringing me down. You're not bringing me down. If someone breaks your heart or tries, you need them out of your life. This world is big. Mrs. Scurv, a little while ago, before I started preparing for the show, she was looking at exotic plants. Duh. What else? That's what she does. But you know how they suggest different things? They had exotic birds of the world. And I knew I wasn't going to fall asleep, but I laid there next to her and watched. You know how they have 20 of the top, whatever. I think I looked at 6 or 7 of them. I said, let me get out of here. I got to get time to make this thing happen. And it made me realize how huge the planet is. And when it comes to so-called wildlife, I say so-called because to me, the wildlife is around human beings shooting each other up and killing each other. But at least there's an order in the so-called wildlife where with predators who eat other animals up and down the food chain, they're all equipped with the ability and the senses to sense it. And the majority of them are living long lives. But we have to constantly expand our minds. You will not get depressed. Let me take that back. I'm not a professional to say what won't happen. But if you realize that it's a huge world and you're part of it, if you decide to cut yourself off from the world and just sit down and just, oh, nothing's going on in this world today, it's so boring or whatever. Oh, the rain is coming down hard. So this thing might blink out any minute, but it's okay because we're in on my phone. But I am going to close that window in a little bit. Hold tight, y'all. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay. That's one window. Hello, Mrs. Scurv. This is one time I'm going to depend on her to close the rest of them because she ain't sleep yet. She just walked through here. So, the world being so big makes you understand how small our woes are. You understand? Like I always say it, when you go up in that airplane and you might be near your neighborhood and you catch a glimpse of a Walmart or a big box store that is ever shrinking. Yeah, I took care of this window over here, sweetie. So, what was that weird noise? You heard that? When that air comes off of the mountain, sometimes it's like, it sounds like a tornado. You know what I mean? Yeah. You see how minuscule our issues can be. If we understood it, put it in its place, and cultivated a way to maintain our own version of happiness. Because I can sit up here and laugh and crack up. I don't have to be in front of the computer to do it, but when I'm playing my music, doing my work, doing some artwork. Like I was cracking up when I made the banner for that other show about the controlling women who may be a little older, right? And I was searching I didn't seek to make it that way at first. You see what I mean? But if you want to know the story behind that picture of the woman, please go to the website, LanceScurv.com, and click on that. Don't go to YouTube, but go to LanceScurv.com and click on that particular banner, the video. It's still there. It's scrolling down a lot. And I made a long comment and I put a link with it that's going to crack you up. And I asked the question. And so, not to get off topic, but I was looking for a woman who was older, obviously, but not too old, but still had the kind of spunk that she can throw her stuff and turn a man out. And I couldn't find it. So I did the inevitable. I went to, and I wasn't looking for anything lewd. I was looking for a face. And so I went to an adult movie site and I found it. But I had to crop it out and get the face out before she started doing what she was doing. And that was funny because I couldn't put nothing like that up on YouTube as a banner. We wouldn't be here right now. You see what I mean? So I said, you know what? The way her head is angled and this guy, he's laying back. Let me put a banana in there and let me put some teeth. Because you know how the story goes? I'm going to take my teeth out for you. And just those symbols made it funny. You see what I mean? So that was the story behind it, but you'll see more if you go to the actual site and click on that banner. But I'm saying all that to say this is that even with me doing what I do, I'm laughing, I'm having fun. You can say I'm in my own world, but whose world am I going to be in? I mean, who else, Mrs. Scurv, yeah, we overlap. But when she's up at the garden doing stuff like that, that's her happiness. She's been doing that before she met me, and she's been doing it all up to the present. We all have to have our place of escape, or else we'll go crazy. See, some people escape to drugs. That's never going to bring you happiness. Or the alcohol, or the porn, or the gambling, or the anger management issues. You'll get off a little bit when you do those things, whatever way you get off, the way you get your little fix mentally, your dopamine hit. But when you come back to the reality is sitting there waiting for you. See me, when there's a lot of confusion going on around me, I mean, I'm deep into this, but I hit the pen and the paper harder. And I don't even think about it. It doesn't even touch me. Even when they're trying to bring you into it, you can't touch me. That's my safe haven. We have to build our own safe havens. Even if you don't know what it is right now, take a walk. Get away from the same usual scenarios around you. If you live with someone in a household that you don't find it to be too favorable, well, guess what? Be out of the house when they come home. Go to bed if you can, because your schedule may require that you get up early. Keep it to a minimum. Don't allow them to dump their toxicities on you, because all you might get is a half-assed greeting. So they're letting you know, I don't like you. Well, you're not going to get that chance on me. So you better hold your venom, and your venom is going to spill over and hurt you. Stay in your happiness, because we are energy beings, and there's a whole lot going on. Somebody left a comment on the show last night, and they basically said, oh, you're speaking crazy, or you're speaking gibberish, whatever they said. And you know what? Some of these beings, these entities on this planet, they can't go and speak maybe in what they think is abstract, but we understand because we're spirit beings and energy beings. We can see higher. And when you move higher, you know how to talk to the next person. Yeah. So you have to know how to escape into that and build it up so huge. They may get pissed off that they can't reach you. They'll do something outright to piss you off. Don't let them have that victory. You always keep that control over yourself and focus your energies on things. And this is what I used to say to myself many years ago. And when I started to get into the stuff online, and that was 22 years ago, I said, let me work on the things that will be with me in my new reality that I have no idea what exactly it will be. Let me work on that. And I'll be frank and tell you, when I was having major issues with my ex-wife, I couldn't find any kind of peace. I'd work on a drawing for 2 months, super detailed, like it's lifted off and to get my attention, to piss me off, I'd come back, it's all ripped up. computers smashed and all. We'll have a private conversation. I'll get into all of those things, good and bad. But yeah, I said, you know what? As bad as this situation is, and as bad as it feels to me now, brought me to the edge, had me as close to losing my mind as I ever did in my life. And that hasn't happened only but that time. I said, okay, I'm going to weather the storm. I'm going to protect my assets, my creations. I escaped into the creative side of the internet, offering the things that I offered. See? And slowly but surely, as things developed where I took myself out of that situation, and it was painful when you have children. Oh, it hurts so much. But what, are you going to lose your mind and they don't have a father? You best to preserve yourself. And sometimes in preserving yourself and building the happiness that you won't allow no one to penetrate, sometimes there are brief periods where you have to be away from those who are innocent and don't understand. And don't ever feel guilty about self-preservation. Because if you don't have self-preservation or the mindset of preserving yourself, you're a done deal. Because if you're breaking down, but you're still trying to uphold this part of yourself, how are you going to tune up a vehicle that's driving down the street 100 miles an hour? You got to stop that vehicle and bring it to the shop. And there might be other things wrong with it. And take your time and fix it. So when it comes back, you don't have a worry in the world. Because only you know what your mental, physical, and emotional dashboard looks like. Because see, it's not like a car where you can say, take a look at the dashboard. Turn it on and see what's high, what's low. The oil's low. The alternator needs to change, the power's low, whatever it is. We don't have the luxury of pulling out a dashboard and showing it even to our loved ones to say, listen, I'm thinking thoughts I never thought before. I'm wearing down. I'm not feeling like I used to feel. And I need some kind of help, or I need some kind of healing. A lot of us play pretend. And we're driving on fumes. See? We don't have much left in the tank, but we want to uphold this image of strength. I'm a man, I don't need to cry because that will look a certain. Who gives a damn what looks a certain way? What is? We have cultures, and I know it well. I have to say it. I'm not sure about the other Caribbean islands, but I know in Jamaica, the men are on some old tough stuff from a certain age group. I am a man, I am not supposed to cry. But you cry in the middle of the night. Why are you so worried about what people think? You see cars on the road, driving past you looking strong, and down the road they're overheating. See? You gotta take care of yourself, because sooner or later, you're gonna break down. Do you want that? So when you feel a certain way, and you feel off a bit, there's nothing wrong with that. Look at this treacherous society that we live in. You're supposed to keep up. You're supposed to keep a certain facade. For those who are into the worldly stuff, you have to keep a certain fashion thing going on. Keep up with the fashion. Keep up with the Joneses. Everything you got to keep up with. Who the hell says you got to do that? I gave away 95% of my clothes before I left Orlando, because even though, it's hot in Florida, it's hotter out here. I'm like, I won't be able to wear this out there because I don't like to sweat. Well, put it this way. I don't like to sweat when I have heavy jeans and heavy shirts, and, it sticks to me. I like really wearing light stuff. I don't care at this point. I kept a couple good things like my Morpheus coat and a couple of outfits. Sure, a couple of nice shoes, whatever. But I'm not living like that. If I go to a function and you see me 2 months from now in the same thing, but 3 functions happened and I had a change of 3 or 4 different outfits, well, that's the same one. So what? So what? Live your life for yourself. There's nothing required of you to keep up with anybody. And if anybody feels that they can try to ridicule you to keep up with them, after a while, well, really, they'll figure it out. They don't really rattle me. They try to rattle you. Girl, when's the last time you had your hair done? I see them roots coming in strong. Well, thank you for the compliment on my strong hair. You gotta flip it around on them. You understand? Who are you living your life for? Every day, I choose the holy shorts and the holy t-shirts. I love black t-shirts. I love it. I got a whole bunch of them in there. That's what I like to wear. I am embracing my weirdness. You understand? You ever see the weird people of the world? Now, I'm not calling them weird because I'm weird myself. I'm eccentric. I'm different. I'm not following the crowd. So I'm not using that as a put down to the people that others would call weird. I applaud them. You are being yourself. You do what you want to do. You understand? So I applaud them. But have you noticed that those who they call weird never have nervous breakdowns? Now, we have weird people who are unique, but they're messing with drugs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a person who lives a very clean life, right? They never, ever see them in a mental institution. But all the people who are trying to act this normal thing and keep up with the world, those are the ones who really are acting up. It's like, yo, I think some homeboy flipped out. Look at him. Picking his nose in front of everybody and eating it and sniffing his farts. And what the hell wrong with him? Now you off the deep end because you tried so hard and you wouldn't allow yourself and your spirit to breathe. There comes a point when you're running after that bus and the bus is not stopping and you say, F it. Let the bus go. Well, I'm past that point because I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove to the world. I'm just, for me, wanting to get out all of the creativity and anecdotes and perspectives that I've learned in my lifetime, which I realized there were a gazillion. I realized that my life has been really, really intense. You see what I mean? So it's just a matter of getting that out. But for me, I've had enough attention in my life. From when I was in single digit ages and the news cameras caught me riding my unicycle in Central Park, New York, and put me up on the end of the program, to the time I posed with 2 tons of fun to weather girls as raining men in front of City Hall at Harlem Week back in 1983. All the press was there. Winning my bodybuilding shows, doing different things, meeting different people, vibing. Lots of nights on the town, good conversations, good restaurants. Not that you have to go to a restaurant, but being free to live your life. I've had enough of that. So, and I can't say enough, but what I mean is that I can live discipline because I can go into my storehouse of memory and pull out something. You pick a year, I got countless stories for you. Now, maybe if I was 3 or 4 years old, the stories are going to be limited, right? But every year of my life, I can think back and take you places right up until the present day. And that's something that I really thank the Creator for me in my life. Because if I was wired any other different way, I'd probably be in a madhouse somewhere. And it hurts me when I see those who I love can't get it together to see the bigger picture. I'm no great person. I know I'm motivated, but I'm motivated because I love life, the interaction, the pursuit. And when I lay down to bed every night, I ask myself, what is it that I've done today, early today, that I can feel good about? I feel really good about this conversation, or really monologue, but I'm vibing because I see the chat room and the good conversation going on there. But if I can leave the world in a better place, then I'm good. And it sounds corny to many people, right? But it's called evolving. I'm not losing any steam or any fire, but I realize we have to place our energy in other places where it's needed, as in triage. I always use the example of the 3 people who were in that house that collapsed in on people. And there's 3 people laying around. One has a big wooden stake in his leg. And the folks look at him and say, he'll live. He's screaming, why are you passing me by? Don't you see this thing? Get this thing off of me. And the other one has his brain smashed out. And his eyes are wide open in shock. And that's probably the last few moments of his life. You can't do anything for him. And the third person is a person who's having a heart attack. Now, there's a person we can save. We'll just have to pick up the person whose brains are blown out or knocked out from something hitting them in the head, because that's a certain transition right there. The person with the stake in their leg, well, we'll get to them momentarily. There won't be any bleeding because the stake, big piece of wood, for those who think I mean steak like the meat steak, right? Yes, they'll live. So in situations in our life where we have to figure out what triage is, we have to figure out, well, listen, I have my happiness. Is it worth me getting in an argument with this person and losing it because I'm pulled out of my happiness base? I always refer to boxing. How are you going to punch a person that's across the room? You got to get close to him. So why am I going to come out of my protective shell of happiness that I constructed to argue with a person whose life is not together, who really is low-key pissed at me because they can't figure it out for themselves? There's a lot of people out here like that, and it's based on insecurity. And I've always attracted those types no matter where I go. They do little things to piss you off. They try to discredit you, not that you need them for validation. And it's always a mind game coming because they're intimidated by your accomplished presence. And it doesn't mean you're accomplished as far as the world is concerned, but they can see the depth and wisdom in you, and they feel like a fool in silence. So they have to boost up their meager accomplishments in the street as though it's something to write home to, as though it's something that's going to help to pay their bills. No, I don't play that game. Sit there and hate my shine. But I'm not shining to make you hate me. It's you and your insecurity who makes you dislike me. That's something you got to do. If happiness was a full bathtub of fragrant bath water, that means you sitting in an empty tub. You need to fill it up with something that makes you happy. And you're not going to be happy watching me. And I'm not going to let you join on to me because you didn't do your homework. After school, I hung out with kids who we all got together and did our own study groups, whether it's in the library, Burger King or McDonald's, or somebody's house. The guys who wanted to go play ball, no. I can't hang with you. The guys who just want to go, let's just go hang out, man. We'll get it. We'll get it. It's going to be an easy test. You know, it's crazy. That's why I tend to, rope-a-dope folks while I'm getting my shit done. You know what I mean? While I'm doing what it is that I have to do, because you're not going to make everybody happy. Don't even try to be a pleaser. Because when you are a people pleaser, you're always at a deficient. There is something in you that makes you feel that everybody else's issues is something that you have to heal. Not to say that you cannot help someone close to you where you know it's a real issue. No, you can help them, but there's something wrong with you. It's some type of validation that you're seeking from damn near total strangers to come out of pocket for them. And guess what? They're going to gas you up. They're going to talk so nice to you because they know and what you are. And it's not just single people. You can have couples who work in unison that way. Be nice with them because we can get this. We can always use them as backup. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're conniving and don't want to do your own stuff and pull your own weight, then you're dead weight. You see what I mean? So we can't have that. So people pleasers are always walking around in the middle of the night, hurting and not understanding why they can't be happy because you're giving it away. I'm going to be adult right now. The only reason you have to stop sucking in the 69 is when you're approaching the orgasm and it starts feeling real good. Once it's done, get to sucking some more because they got to get theirs. See, there's a word called reciprocation. It's like, yo, damn, how he come out of nowhere like that? Experience, but it's true. You don't have to wait for somebody to reciprocate to give to them. When you know there's a good energy there, I can give to you all 1,000 times and not look for anything back. And I used to be more of a people pleaser. And you'll run yourself down ragged. Exactly. No salty balls allowed. That's all about ball care. If you don't take care of your balls, brother, you can't expect any kind of reciprocation because if you don't take care of the balls, usually you don't take care of the ass. And you want a sister's nose to be down there? Come on, man. Wake up. Yo, man. Yo, Scurv, man. I see you had a lot because I keep my balls clean. So we got to keep, what you say, pissy pussy? But that's not as bad as salty balls. But it's true. How are we going to be good to ourselves if we put everybody ahead of ourselves? Home first. We got people who go all out and they want to be secretive, and when they get busted doing it, they get mad at you. So what you doing? You're giving away all your energy, but you're deficient in what you need to do. And when you need, these people are not going to come to you. And there's a few that are listening right now that I hope they're listening. Not anybody here in the chat room, but right here in Ghana. Your days are over. You ain't getting because you're users. And I'm going to call you that every time you come around. Because there are some people here, oh my God, but they want to walk with the chest puffed out. I can tell some stories, but I won't. Work on yourself, people. Work on keeping your happiness intact. It's very important that you do this because this life doesn't guarantee or owe you anything in that place of happiness. Material things are not going to do it for you. Status in this world is not going to do it for you. Being the best singer in the church and the people get in the spirit, that's not going to do it for you. It comes from within. When nobody else is around, when nobody else is there to gas you up, if you've reached a certain status, you by yourself in the midnight hour, you have to be content and happy within yourself. That's the only way. When it's time for me to shut the lights out and I admit that I'm going to lose the battle to slumber, I'm smiling because I won. Because I did what it is that I have to do for my mission. I will help and inspire and motivate. I'm not a person to throw off and say, maybe you're looking to ask me something. I can't ask Lance because he's going to think I'm one of them people. No, I'm not. My spirit tells me who's who. and I act accordingly. But what I'm saying is that you have to go to bed happy with what you did the day before. Even if you take a day off, it's okay. The me now saying that to the me a couple years ago, even last year, like, what you talking about? Because the day off is part of the progress to keep you preserved, to be able to do what you do without burning yourself out. See what I mean? And yes, we're going to make that Patreon more lit. I've been doing so much. I want to do like more monologues, not just the conversations we have, but I had 2 ideas a day and I went to sleep, but I'm going to do them within the next 2 days. Raw stuff where I'm just saying it. Because I had a few experiences these last 2 or 3 days dealing with people here. I'm going to talk about it. And I ain't holding back. Might be 15 minutes long, it might be 2 hours long, but I want to sprinkle that. And that's why I haven't been saying anything about Patreon, because I want to be people to see it like, damn. You can go to LanceScurv.com and scrolling under the header, you can see some of the titles and on the sidebar of what we've been talking about on Patreon. Master Glam, Landon, Mix Genre Faves, Sisto Yala, Tracy J, and so much more. Yeah, this Tivasation the other day. Good, deep conversations. Oh, man, you know I love it. It's something. Yeah, let's beat the algorithm. And I really appreciate and thank you all for this and the energy that you share to the platform. Because, like I said, it has my name on it, but I can't do it on my own. I do a lot, and I'm not saying that to feel like I'm better than anybody else, but for you to give your time and conversation and doing the stuff in the chat room to say, hey, share this and do this, and just being present there like that, I'm so happy because of that. I mean, I'm happy, but then the additional happiness that comes, quality people, a brilliant chat room, positive folks. And if you have something that you're going through and we talk in private, it's going to remain in private. I'm not going to throw that up on the daggone Patreon. I'm not going to record it. Okay. I have people, well, Lance, what to talk this, but don't put this. I'm like, that's not all I do. If we say it's private, it's private. It's not going on anywhere else. That's the part of giving back, because we all need somebody sometime. And it's a beautiful thing when it's genuine. When it's a genuine thing and you feel it. Any adversity that you're going through, it makes you walk a little more upright and tough when you're refueled from a genuine person. Not these fake people who want something out of you and just tell you what you want to hear. And you don't feel it, but now they're expecting something back. Oh, I love you too, Master Glam, and everybody that's here. Yes, even if the world doesn't acknowledge me, it's not about like trying to be famous, but I love you guys. And the Creator has brought me a long way to see so much, experience so much, and to be protected, to be here to this day, to have a full range of experiences. I was never rich. I was never famous. I never sought those things. But I can sit down and talk with anybody about anything hands-on. That's the one thing I will say, Master Glam. Yes, I'm built for this. I don't say that in a cocky way. 22 years so far. Let it be 22 more and 22 more. As I learn, I will share. We have to fill the gaps in the lives of those around us, because we'll walk around with an abundance of wisdom, well-earned wisdom, and not share it. Doesn't mean we have to walk up and down the street like a Jehovah's Witness or some Christian saying, you got to come to and put yourself up on the pedestal. But when you see something is needed and you have it, you share and you talk and you encourage and motivate. You see what I mean? And when you give, you get. I'm not talking about no money. I'm talking about in the spirit. When you give, you get. You might not get it right away. You might be facing something that you can't see the answer to it right away. But guess what? We all are good enough and well enough to be here in this chat room today, which means that if something defeated you to the point of death, you wouldn't be here. If something defeated you to the point of mental illness, you wouldn't be here. We've all known tough times, and things are a little lean for me too. But to reach to the next level, you must go into that atmosphere where the air is thin before you see the next level of clouds. So you accept that. And all of you here can look back on your lives and say, wow, I remember when. And when you were going through it, it seemed impossible. But you made it through. And you were supposed to, when I say get off on that, I don't mean get off like it's sexual, but get off on the fact that your creator, the life force in you, helped to bring you through when there was no way. I'll tell you, there was a time when my mother was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. At the time, I didn't have a job. I started a job or got the job, but it didn't start for another 2 weeks. And I had to wait 2 weeks for the first paycheck. So I had a month ahead of me with nothing. I was so broke, I couldn't even cut the heat on to run down the oil. We had oil at that time before I switched over to gas. You have the gas when you get a bill. You have the oil, that's what's in your tank. So I huddled up in one room in the back and sometimes put a heater on, enough to warm up the room. And I get up under the cup, 2 comforters, sweaters, sweats, socks, and sleep. I hated to get up to have to go to the bathroom because that meant now getting up in a cold room, going to pee or other things. And now I done lost my heat up under that cover. It was so cold out there. All farts were appreciated and kept under that cover, a source of heat. What did I eat for that month? Unless I was invited over to a friend's house, which I never let anybody know. I lived off of Sundew drinks. I think at that time they were $3, $4. Cheap, sugary, purple drinks. And the $3, $4 macaroni and cheese with the powdered cheese, poison in there. If it was crackers or something else or something cheap, a little diversion, but that was the bulk. Then I got into these cheap cookies just to keep hunger away. Not about nutrition. I felt terrible in my body. But I said, I have to go through this because I know there are realities out there waiting for me that are just so splendid. And I made it through. And my mother made it out of the hospital. But months later, she transitioned. She had 1 stroke. It took a speech. I wish you all could hear how she spoke. And she was trained in opera. Her English was, and we know it's full of spells and, but her command of the English language in such a dramatic way. She mastered the stage. And I observed all of this. And I pale in comparison. And it hurt me to see her lose her voice. She would talk, but she would stutter now. I know it hurt her. And it hurt me too, really bad. And it took me through changes. So this is why when I can do what I can do, I'm going to do it. And the reason why she had those strokes is because she finally came face to face with my brother's drug addiction, in which she was in denial about. And she was a people pleaser. In a good way and a little bit in a bad way. So even then I learned lessons. See? Allowed her own son to penetrate her happiness, and he didn't give a damn. And to this day, like Sasquatch, the sightings, there are people in New York that see my brother here and then. He's looking really bad, but he's always kept himself up. But physically, he's 11 years older than me, born in July of 52. So he's going to be 71 in July of this year. 71. Unbelievable. Life can go so fast when you don't do the right thing. And if you run away from facing certain things, it's not going to allow you any peace. Yet at the same time, there are situations where you're going to have to let it go. And people on the outside, oh, you bad because you let that go. No, you had to do it for your health, your emotional, your mental, your physical. Because we have people who will manipulate their positions in your life to use the hurt that they can inflict on you to keep you in check. How about that? I love you all. I'm the last one standing. I mean, I have my children. But from that gap, that the baton passed to me, I can't stop trying. I don't care about the world. I don't care if that transition, somebody says, oh, this is some great guy. No, I'm a regular dude doing my work. Every great building that you see out there and every great bridge and every great structure, somebody took time to build that. And there are people who will come and live in those buildings and cross those bridges, generations to come that don't even know the sacrifice that those people made. So let me make my sacrifices to breathe life into other people that want it, who need it. It's a crime for me to have it and not give. I don't care how sleepy I get sometime. You keep throwing punches until the fight is over. Even if you lose on decision, if you gave your best and gave your all, you're never a loser. See? You're a warrior. So I don't worry about winning or losing or being famous and making money like that. Nah. Not at this point. Because I know there's a force that is so powerful and so strong that if I submit myself to it in a righteous way, it will guide me every day. I'm sitting up here in somebody else's apartment in Accra, Ghana, in West Africa. Who would have believed? I got my same couple of pieces of equipment. I have some in storage at the house. And I'm still doing these little shows. It brings me joy. I don't know I know you are listening. I don't know who. I get these emails from people. I'm like, man, makes me want to cry, happiness, tears. Just let me do my job. Just let me do my job. Whatever it is I'm supposed to do. And just like I told a dear sister friend of mine, if I'm to clean your toilets, I'll do so happily. If I have to wash your feet, I'll do so happily. Whatever it is that I have to do, I can't say, I'm LanceScurv, I don't do that. If I got to walk many miles to bring you an order of food, I'll do it. And don't worry, I won't steal the fries that are in it. That's what we have to do. This is what is required of us. And we're all connected in a divine way. We have what the world tells us to do. Oh, to be a good person, you have to do this. To hell with what the world tells us. Look at the state of the world it is now. We have leaders, political leaders, and they're all hellbound. Nothing morally upright about them. To the point now, if you walk morally upright in this world, you're chastised. You're demonized. Right is wrong and wrong is right. Sister Gifty, much love to you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. But it's the truth. So you have to go on your own set of morals. This world is hypocritical to the max. So we can't even depend on others and assume that because they say the right words, Yes, that's a good person. There's so many fake ass, good looking people out here. And when you dig deep and scratch below the surface, you'll see how rotten they are. If I don't see your light immediately, I don't care if you have a filthy so-called mouth. There's some sincere sisters and brothers out there who are raised up in those environments, but because they may say a curse word or two, I'm supposed to look down on them? No, but I see their heart and I see their spirit and I rock with them. If they come up out of that way of communicating, it doesn't matter. It's just like when after a gathering at your home and you're putting the food away and you have some fish in a pan and the pan is half empty, but you got another pan with some chicken and it's half empty, where you put the chicken in with the fish, and tomorrow when you warm it up, the chicken tastes fishy and the fish tastes like chicken. That's going to happen, but it doesn't stop being what it is. So we have to look past that, because you have a lot of people with some sweet words coming around you. And how can I say it? Excuse my French. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. Look at these pastors who are pedophiles. Pastors screwing around with underage girls and other men's wives. Oh, I'll counsel you if you have marital problems. And now he knows what's going on in your bedroom or what's not going on in your bedroom. And he wants to counsel the wife alone. I've seen it. I've seen every bit of wickedness that can happen in this world. I've seen it with my own eyes. And I ain't going to shut up about it. When it comes time to talk about it, I'm not just going to talk about that all my life or every day. I'll flip on a second. I'll flip it on a dime. I could be the most gentle, kind, whatever, and I could be the most violent, whatever. I don't like that. But sometimes you need that. I'm not going to sit here and allow anybody to be taken off or used or ripped off. Not on my watch. Sit there and whip out a phone and record stuff and come on a show at night and talk righteous. How the hell that look? I might as well just hang up and don't do it. We got to make up who we're going to be, because most of us leave this earth, this realm, we leave it incomplete. And yes, we're not perfect. We're not going to be completely done. But be up in the 90s as far as percentage is concerned, especially if you had enough years on this planet and on this plane and in this realm. How you going to come out 22, 13? You put your phone on the charger at night. When you wake up, you expect it to be 100. And you wake up and it's 13. Why the hell is this 13? Because you didn't have the cord plugged into the wall. And so many of us are sitting comfortably in our chargers. Ain't no power in there because we ain't plugged into the right thing. We're not thinking the right thing. We're not eating the right foods. You get a junk meal every now and then, but come on, y'all. The way we look is because we've been eating that way and living that way. Y'all know I'm like a person who doesn't sleep much, but I get my sleep in sneaky ways. Master Glam. That was so funny when I was listening. Yeah, I'm sneaky with my sleepy, but I get it though. I get it. But it's really time, because like the conversation I had with my friend earlier, how many people, friends in our inner circle are transitioning. It's nothing to be afraid of. If you did what you have to do, yeah, folks will cry because they're going to miss you. But like I always say, you came in this world crying. You came from something that was familiar and you didn't want to leave it. Come out here and all this bright light in the hospital room, not connected to an umbilical cord anymore. You ain't getting no more free ride. A heartbeat, like the bass in a song. Remember that old song from 1981? Boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, doom, doom, boom, doom, 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 doom. Heartbeat. It makes you feel so real. I'll give you a bit of history in that song. Tanya Gardner lived, I think it was 131st Street maybe 131st, off of 115th Avenue. I lived on 134th. I never knew her. But her cousin, Michael Gardner, God rest his soul, he was a neighborhood crackhead who never stole anything. He had integrity. I swear you can give him keys to your house. He ain't stealing because he knew the whole neighborhood would get him. No matter what. He'd do the yard work or just pick up garbage, just little things. You give him some money. And he had checks. He was in the military for a long time. Worked jobs and everything. Had big checks. His mother kept it and doled it out incrementally. So he made his own little money. We used to call him Scrap Mike. He didn't mind. But don't call him no crackhead Mike. That's what we said behind closed doors. Any function we had, he came. Yeah, we had cookouts. Yo, Mike, you know you can come anytime and get all the food you want. Oh, thank you, thank you. He had some stories, but he transitioned. I wish he can tell. How did he find himself in a Turkish prison? Something to do with him being in the military. And I got to meditate on getting that story back up in my head because, like I said, he's not with us on this level now. He had some stories, and I love to hear them. I have a picture with him. I got to find it. Got to find it. He looked like one of the Whispers with the little handlebar mustache, same complexion, no afro though. Had a little bald spot with the hair on the side, but the most caring person, and he would tell you what got him into that. I think it was a woman who broke his heart, which you really can't blame somebody else when you allowed somebody to penetrate your happiness or penetrate or replace what you should have yourself. But I would never knock him or say anything to him in a bad way, which I probably at that time didn't know how to articulate those thoughts to him. Oh, see things. I meditate on things now. Oh, I had most of what I know now, I knew back then in my 20s, but it wasn't ready yet. Like a cake that has to bake and be in the oven for an hour and you pull it out after 10 minutes. It's fluffy cake batter. And I'm one who loved to take the bowl and I didn't care. Mix up the cake batter. I'll spoon it out and eat it that way. I didn't have to have a cake. Yes, it's very complicated, this life. And if you can protect yourself with your own bit of happiness and gift of discernment and be at peace with yourself. And when you realize that you're not centered and when you don't have the necessary peace in your life, well, guess what? You need to investigate where this is coming from. You need to investigate where this energy loss is coming from, what's pulling from you. You see? You have to, you're right, mixed genre faves, you have to keep that inner circle small. Everybody doesn't qualify because as you ascend in this life, everybody doesn't deserve you. They can't. They've got to ascend. They got to do their own homework. You have a hierarchy here. It doesn't mean to say you got to turn your nose up at anybody. No, you deal even with the least of us. If it's genuine. But we don't know. And people give up sometimes on pursuing their own happiness. I don't care. Well, if they don't care about theirs, how are they going to care about yours? See? So I tell people, vet me constantly. Check my emotional, mental, and spiritual credit towards you. I want you to. I want to pass the test. I don't know he's cool, but it's been 3 years and he kind of acting a little different. No, well, call me out. Call me up. Everybody has my phone number down there, scrolling below. Straight up. Yo, Lance, man, you said some things in the show the other night. It's kind of off. Maybe I need that. Maybe I'm derailing. Maybe at that time I'm going through stuff and I'm kind of off. You could help to bring me back on. I'm not better than anybody here. I may have created this imagery, but anybody can get a YouTube channel. But what are you going to do with it? And it's your right. If I consider you in my inner circle, check me. Correct me. You're making me better. You're putting me on the path to being stronger. I'm not bullheaded where we can't tell him that. If I'm somewhere and yo, Lance, your breath stink, man. Here, take a mint. Tell me. I want to know. You see? So anyway, I'm going to wrap this down now. I'm going to get extra rest, but I'm going to talk for about 15, 20 minutes in the conference line if you want to get there. I'm going to get a little water, mix a little tea, sit here for a little while, and try to get these up on the site and the different platforms before I turn in. Because once again, like we were supposed to do earlier, we were supposed to get those wires. I'm going to do it in the morning. I know she done got to bed. She slept too today. She's going to be up early. But I do want to hit some Patreon tomorrow on some things that we kind of had some perspectives on. It's going to be very juicy. And those are just going to be recordings. It won't be videos, but I will have the camera. Like I promised yesterday, we never left the house. The cameras will be blazing when we go out there. Okay, yes, let me put the number here. I can't always assume everybody knows the number. But what I'm going to do, for those who are out of the country or may forget the number, I'm going to pull up the site and show you where, if you forget the number, where you can go and click on it. And let me just show you this real quick on the visual level. Okay, hold on. Share screen. Okay. We'll share that screen. And with that, let me take this banner. I'm going to put the banner and the number back up. I just want to show you something. Okay, I'm on both of these. Let me make this bigger, full size. Am I forgetting how to do this? Oh, okay. I got to go back to this side here. Put it here like that. Make it bigger. Don't be confused by that back screen. I'm going to take that back screen and change it off. There's too much going on there. All right. I put that back there. Okay, here's the site. And you see up here, look at my cursor, LanceScurv. I always put like whatever show, just in case a person lands and doesn't know it, they get to the homepage, they still get to see the show. If I click this, it'll play. Here's the chat room. That's always 24 hours. And under the chat room, you see here, it says click here to go directly to the LanceScurv conference line or call. But this whole banner is to click. You click that. You don't have to dial a number. You don't have to call. You're not going to get any long distance. It's just like going to a website when you click right here. Okay. So that's where it is visually. And I'll just kind of show you again. Here's the header. Here's the video area where I always put a video. Here's a chat room that is not lit up now, but it could be whenever you want to get there. But below that chat room, just click that on your phone, your tablet, or your computer. It will take you right there. And or you can still call the number. I'm going to do that repetitiously. Okay. Let's put back up the banner. Looks a lot better than that. Looks a lot better than that. Oh, let me just put this banner back up. All right. And if you have some noise going on in the background, really loud, just mute yourself. Come on in. If you just want to listen, you just listen. A lot of folks are scared. I don't know what to say. They don't see you. I see you. I don't bother anybody. If you mute yourself and you're quietly listening, come on in. It's all right. Now unmute yourself and talk and add to the conversation. And it can go wherever it has to go. There's no one subject or whatever. It's what everybody feels to do. And I think that really brings a sense of connectedness, you see, because it's nice to hear the voice. And it's nice to hear everyone who goes there, how they're blending in. And now when they come to the chat room, it's like, yeah, I know this person already. It's a beautiful thing. Yes. And I still haven't fixed the problem, Sister Oyala. When I play the music here, it also goes into the, if I go there now, so I'm going to wait until the show's over, which I'm only going to play 1 or 2 songs and it'll be done. When I go there early and play, it spills over in there and you can't talk, but feel free to go. Feel free to go now if you want, not demanded. Take a trip to the bathroom, come back, get something to drink, come back. I'll be there within 5 minutes or so. But it's been wonderful as always. Sometimes I'm a little more, like last night, I had an extra hours, like 2 hours and 30 something minutes. And I was dog tired. I am tired now, but not dog tired. See? So I might even go to my phone and call in and take a short walk outside. But I got to protect myself against these mosquitoes. I want to start doing that. Then I'll really stay in the conference. I take a nice long walk and just talk. That's dope. Anyway, I'm going to sign off right now. And just, again, we'll let you know I love you all very much. You add so much to my life. And just the funny jokes and the anecdotes and all of that wonderful stuff. It's just beautiful. So let me run. Let me hit this music. And I'll see you shortly at 321-521-2515. Don't be shy. Come on in. Peace.
Bad little flex, she wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes. Baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should ride on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like the motherfucking man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up, fanny up. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should slide on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, oh yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you.